That your bitch on her way now. Mama told me if you fall, never stay down. Stand up, nigga, I can never lay down. Wins and them losses, it come with being bosses. Shoot a pussy nigga in his head if he crosses.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Saorsality Mindset Podcast. It has been a while. I know, I apologise for that. Most of it has been due to some technical problems I've been having with my computer, in the form of my computer's not turning on properly, which is pretty significant. If you ask me, and if you know me in real life, you'll know that I'm useless when it comes to like fixing computers and stuff like that. So I have no idea how to fix it. I've asked a few people, had a few ideas on what could be wrong with it, but I have no idea how to fix it just yet. So there was a problem. I didn't know how to solve that problem, as in fixing my computer. So I found a workaround. So I've got a different laptop. I've got a different computer that I'm recording this on today. So that's what we're going to be doing for now. So hey ho, the computer's broken, but not going to let that get in the way anymore. Got a new thing to record the podcast on, so that's what we're going to go with, and hopefully we can get the computer fixed later down the line, as it has all my files and stuff on it, which I'd love to get back. I've had to sort of completely redo the podcast from scratch, getting all like the music at the start and the outro and all that stuff, and re-downloading the audio software and all that. So hopefully it all works out fine, and we can get back onto my computer later on, so I can just jump back into where I left off with all my files and stuff like that. But who cares? We'll move on to what we're actually going to be talking about today, guys. So on the podcast today, what we're going to be talking about is a question. We're going to be addressing a question that it's very, very common. I talked about it on my Instagram the other day, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on it. So if you saw my Instagram post the other day on Saorsality, you'll know where I'm going to be going with this. But if you didn't, perfect, brand new to you. But if you did, I'm going to give you some more detail, more sort of information on what I was talking about on that post. Okay, so the question that gets asked all the time, the question that I get asked all the time, and any sort of personal trainer or anybody in fitness gets asked all the time, is how do I stay on my program when I've absolutely no motivation to actually get myself to the gym? And I've got a different sort of take on this. I've got a different solution for you. I'm not going to be giving you any sort of tips and tricks like listen to music or go with a gym buddy to keep you accountable and anything like that. I'm like a much sort of more in depth and what's the word for it, a bigger impact and solution to the problem, and that is completely rewiring your brain and the way you think about it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to try and show you how to do today. That's what I'm going to try and do with you today. Okay, so I suggest you stick around right to the end, as you'll learn a lot. You'll learn how I help my clients with this sort of stuff, how we do this in Saorsality, okay, which I think, obviously, my personal opinion, is the best way to do it. Okay, so just to reiterate the question, how do I stay on my program when I have absolutely no motivation to go to the gym? Okay, now if this sounds like you, if you have no motivation to go to the gym and you're struggling to stick to your program, it's most likely because of one thing, and that is you've lost sight of what you want to become. You've lost sight of the goal you want to achieve. You've lost sight of the person you want to be in the future that you originally thought about in your head, and you wanted to do that, so you started making the changes, getting a personal trainer, getting on a program, going to the gym. You know, people don't just make those changes for no reason. You make them because you want to change yourself. You want to become the vision of you have yourself in your head. Okay, so a lot of the time it's because people lose sight of that. They're sitting in their house, they're sitting at home, they don't need to go to the gym, they need to eat, you know, a certain way, but they don't. They give in, they don't go to the gym, they skip the gym, they stay in their bed, they watch Netflix, eat what they want. Okay, and that is that sort of temporary lapse in sort of consistency and giving into the sort of temporary comfort of staying in your bed takes over them, and they lose the vision of what they want to become like in the future. Okay, and it's quite sad. It's quite sad. I'm obviously not immune to this myself. Like I've done this my fair share of times in the past, but I like to think I'm over it now, because of what I'm going to talk about in here, and because of how I've sort of rewired my brain and how I think about stuff. Okay, so if that sounds like you, and you're having these lapses in sort of your consistency, and you're sort of giving it these temporary comforts rather than putting in the work to get to where you want to be in the future, I've got a question for you. Okay, so what do you want more? What do you value more? Do you value those temporary comforts like eating what you want, watching TV, staying in your bed more, or do you value more being a confident person, being who you want to be, being the best version of you, being the version that you have of yourself in your head, being the person that you want yourself to become forever, for your whole life? Which one do you value more? Which one do you hold closer to yourself? Because I know which one I hold close to myself. I would take being who I want to become in my head. I've got a vision of who I want to become in my head. I've got a vision of myself in the future, and I'm going to do what it takes to get to that person, because that is what I want to do with my life. That's what I'm looking towards, and I value that a lot more than sitting and watching, binging Netflix. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself the same question, right? I want you to be brutally honest with yourself, okay? Because you're either going to answer the question two ways. You're going to say, oh, I want to stay with my comforts more, which is fine. You do that if that's what you want to do. That's fine. But you're not going to become who you want to become in your head unless, you're not got any sort of drastic changes that you want to make. But however, if you do have some slightly drastic sort of changes you want to make in your head, you want to be completely different from how you are just now. You want to be this person that you're nowhere near where you are now. Then it is one or the other. You either choose temporary comforts like Netflix, stay in your bed, eating what you want, or you choose to put in the work and progress to where you will need to be. You know what you need to do. There's information everywhere. I give information out on Instagram all the time. You can get a personal trainer. You can get programs from us. You can do that stuff. You know what you need to do. It's just a case of, are you going to do it? Okay. And as I says, if you're so far away from being the person you want to be in your head, then it's one or the other. You choose temporary comfort, or you choose putting in the work and becoming happy and confident and satisfied with your life forever. Okay. It's genuinely one or the other. And these temporary comforts completely cancel out your sort of confidence that you can get forever. Your temporary comforts will literally kill that person you want to be in your head. That person is going to die to the hands of your temporary comforts, because you're going to give in to these temporary comforts over and over and over and over again, to the point where you're not actually giving into them. It's just your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is temporary comforts. It's not working on yourself. It's not building towards being a better person. Your lifestyle is temporary comforts, and sometimes your temporary comforts can get lapsed over by you going to the gym for once in a while, if you get what I mean. You can see where I'm coming from here. So obviously, if you don't want to do anything sort of massive, if you've not got any massive changes you want to make, you only want to lose a little bit of weight or look a little bit better, or improve your 5k time slightly, that, and obviously you have more leeway to go with. You can give in to these temporary comforts more often, but if you've got a long way to go, which is, I hope, is for the majority of people, because the average person is undervaluing themselves, or not near their full potential yet. You really can't give in to these temporary comforts. It's literally one or the other, right? And you really need to learn that and have that sink in your head and understand that, okay? Because the sooner you understand that, the sooner you're going to be able to cancel out these temporary comforts and go for your long-term goal, become the person that you want to be in your head, okay? Because it's so much more worth it to become that person, okay? And I think you know that, but you need to come to that realization yourself, okay? So once you understand this, and you've answered the question of what you want more, your temporary comforts or your confidence forever, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. You need to look yourself dead in the eye, and you genuinely need to ask yourself, do I actually want this or not? Do I actually want to go towards being confident and satisfied and happy forever? Or do I want to be temporary comfortable most of the time? That doesn't make sense. Temporary comfortable most of the time, but you get what I mean. You're giving it temporary comforts for most of the time, because at the end of the day, it's all going to catch up to you. And if you're giving it these temporary comforts, because they comfort you just now, but they're going to be harmful for you later on in your life. If you want to give it to them all the time, then you need to be honest with yourself. Okay, if you're not ready to cancel them out and start working towards being that person you want to be all the time, then you have to be honest with yourself, and you need to get into that position where you're ready to make the changes, okay? So a lot of people are going to say, yeah, of course I want to be this person, of course I actually want it, but that's all well and fine, okay, but your actions speak louder than your words. You can say that you want to be that person you want to be, you can say you want to give up your temporary comforts to put in the work you need to do to become the person you want to be, but if your actions aren't backing it up, you're a liar, okay? You're lying to yourself, you're lying to other people, okay? Okay, let's say you get arrested for murder and you go to court for it, and the judge asks you if you've done it, and you go, no, I didn't do it. Yeah, they've got a knife with blood all over it with your fingerprints on it. They've got a picture of you doing it. They've got a video of you leaving the crime scene. They've got your fingerprints all over the body. Like, it doesn't matter what you say in that circumstance. Your actions I've spoken over your words. I've got evidence to prove the contrary to what you're saying is true, and that's exactly the same here. If you say you want to make these changes, and you say I'm 100%, I'm locked in, I'm never going to give in to these temporary comforts, I'm going to nail it to becoming the person I want to be, yet you are giving in these temporary comforts, and you're skipping the gym, you're not pushing yourself hard enough because this, that, or the next thing, or you're staying in your bed watching TV when you should be at the gym, yet you're saying to other people and you're saying to yourself you're ready to make changes. You're lying, okay? You're lying. You might not be consciously lying, but you're lying, okay? Your actions speak louder than your words, and you need to start backing up your words with your actions, okay? You're never going to become that person. You're never going to make strides in the right direction without aligning your actions to your words, okay? So you can say it, I'm glad you're saying you want to, I'm glad you're saying yes, you're ready to do it, that's step one, okay? But then you need to align your actions with those words coming out your mouth, okay? Because if not, it doesn't mean a thing. It does not mean a thing, okay? So you need to start backing up your words with your actions, or else, as I says, you're lying, okay? And why are you lying about it? Why are you lying? Do you actually want to be there? If the answer is yes and you actually do, is it a sort of lack of knowledge? Because it shouldn't be, because there's plenty of resources out there. You can ask me, you can get a personal trainer, you can get programs. It shouldn't be that. Is it because you want to be there, yet you're not mentally strong enough to resist these temptations? Well, in that case, I'd suggest that you don't actually want it, okay? Because trust me, you get to a point in your life where you're so sick of your current state, and you're so ready to get to your goal, that it makes you sick to think about giving in these temporary comforts, okay? It makes you genuinely disappointed in yourself, ill, to think about giving in these temporary comforts. I'm going to give you some step-by-step processes on how you can get to that bit in just a minute, but I want to ask you who you're lying to yourself, okay? Who you're lying to, sorry. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to other people when you say that. When you say that you're ready to make changes, yes, I'm ready to make changes, yet you're not doing it. Who are you lying to? Are you lying to yourself because you're not actually ready to make changes? Or are you lying to other people? You're saying you want to make changes so that they think of you a certain way when really you have no intention of making the changes. Like, who are you lying to? Most of the time you're lying to yourself, and then you say that you are, and then you do the action. Your actions don't back up your words, and you're cheating yourself, okay? You're not cheating anyone else. I'll give you like a little insight to this, right? People in your family, your friends, they don't really care what happens to your goals or that, okay? A lot of the time they don't care, especially the health and fitness goals and that. Your friends couldn't care less if you were overweight or if you were looking amazing. They genuinely could not care less, okay? You're not cheating them, you're not disappointing them, because they genuinely, they might say they do, they might think they do, but they don't really care, okay? They do not really care. Deep down, it doesn't matter what you do, okay? So you're not cheating them, you're not cheating other people, you're cheating yourself, okay? And that is the worst person to cheat, okay? You cannot cheat yourself, because you're selling yourself short. You're not allowing yourself to grow at the full, the maximum of your potential. You're cheating yourself, you're cutting yourself short, okay? And that's not a way you want to live, okay? So, if you're ready to make these changes, if you've answered, what do you want more, temporary comforts, or, a happy, confident, satisfying life forever, and then you've answered yourself, do you actually want it or not, and you're yes, if you've chose you want your confident life forever, and you're ready to do it, and you actually are, and you're ready to make your actions, start backing up your words, let me give you some action steps on how you can make this sort of rewiring in your brain happen, in this like sort of mental switch flip, so that you can start getting in the position where thinking about giving it to temporary comforts does actually upset you, make you feel sick, a really negative impact on you whenever you feel like you're going to give it to temporary comforts, okay? Let me explain how you can do that, which is, I'm sure, a lot of the reason why you're here, okay? So, first thing what we're going to do, okay, is you need to find out what your why is, okay? Why do you want to make changes? Why is it now time for you to make a change, okay? And it's all well and fine for you to say, oh, I want to lose weight because I want to be more confident. Great, okay, that's not enough to make this mental switch, okay? You need to dig deep. You need to do a properly deep self-reflective exercise here, okay, to really find out why. You need to find out what your emotions behind it is, why it is what it is, okay? So let me run you through here with an example, so you can take this sort of template and you can apply it to what you're thinking of, okay? So, someone I've worked with recently, what she wanted to do is she had a child 2 years ago, and she wanted to lose weight because she noticed her fitness is slacking. Okay, she wants to be, and we had a big, long, massive talk where I took her through this exercise, as I do with all of my clients, when we're trying to really get their motivation locked in. Okay, so we had this chat before, and we got down to it, and she says, "Oh, I'm not feeling really fit." Okay, why is that important? Yeah. Oh, so I used to be fitter than I am. I'm sort of like, it's harder to do everyday activities now, which isn't great. Okay, why do you care now though? She's like, oh well, I was out with my son at the park the other day, and he was kicking the football about, and I was trying to kick it about with him, but I could hardly keep up. I was low on energy, and it was just horrible. Okay, so you noticed your fitness when you were trying to keep up with your son. Is that something that happens reoccurring? And then they think about it, and they say, well, yeah, actually, it's actually really, that's when I'm feeling it a lot of the time, is when I'm trying to play with my son and do activities with my son, I just can't keep up. So now we're getting to the real reason, okay? The real reason for it is that they want to be able to raise their son. They want to be able to take part in their son's life. They want to be able to give their son a life where they're involved in it. They're actively involved in it. They help them with their football. They help them with all this stuff. They want to be actively involved in their son's life without having to be tired all the time, have no energy, be exhausted. Okay, and that is when stuff gets exciting, because now you get into the real reason of things. Okay, now what you do once you find this real reason, once you've really dived deep into your thinking, you've figured out what your why is, you need to attach some emotion to that why. Okay, so ask yourself, the person that I'm envisioning in my head, the person I want to become, what is it going to feel like when I get to that level, when I get to be that person? I'm going to be able to run about, play football with my son all the time. I'm going to be able to take him to his training. I'm going to be able to take part in his training. I'm going to be able to help him with it. It's going to feel amazing. I'm going to feel like a really good parent. I'm going to, it's just going to be amazing. I'm going to be able to run with him. I'm going to be able to play with him. I'm not going to get tired. I'm not going to be constantly worried about my health or performing as well as other parents in this. It's going to feel amazing. I'm going to be confident in myself. I'm going to be fit, and more importantly, I'm going to be able to be active in my son's life for forever. Okay, and imagine what that feels like. Okay, imagine what that feels like. Imagine the emotions connected to that when a parent thinks about that. Okay, you can sort of tell, you can sort of see where the emotional connection is coming into play. Okay, and now, more importantly, let's think about the contrary. Okay, let's say further down the line, you've not become the person that you wanted to become. You've not reached that goal. You've became what you don't want to become. It's got worse. He can't go to his child's football games. He can't kick the ball in the park with him. He can barely run. He can barely go up the stairs without getting out of breath. The son's playing football and he can't join in. His son's playing football with his friends, and his friends' dads are joining in, and he can't because he's so unfit and unhealthy that he just physically does not have the capability to do it. Imagine how awful you'd feel then. Imagine how gutting that would be. How heart-wrenching it would be to see your child like taking part in all these activities, and the other dads are taking part in it, and you can't, because you've not taken care of yourself. You've not put in the work. You've given in to your temporary comforts, and you've not been able to pursue your goal because your time's been so consumed by all these temporary comforts. Okay, imagine what that's like. Take a second and just imagine what that'd be like in your head. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. Temporary comforts in this situation, temporary comforts are literally taking the place of watching his child grow up and play and taking an active part in his child's upbringing. Literally, think about it, okay? Temporary comforts, he has chosen to eat what he wants and watch TV more than he wants to watch his son play football with his son growing up. That's what I'm saying. You cannot have both. It is one or the other. You need to choose. You make a decision right now. You need to attach your emotions to that decision, and you need to stick with it. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. If you've got these changes that you want to make, it's one or the other. It's temporary comfort, or it's confident, satisfying, happy for life. Okay, that is the options. You can't have both. You can't dabble in both. Obviously, once you get to the level you want to be, you can enjoy yourself a little bit more often at the time, but when you're putting in the work, first of all, to get to the position you want to be in, it is one or the other. You can't choose. You don't have a choice. Okay, you can't choose to do it 50-50. You can't choose to do one time and the other time do the other one. It's not a choice. Okay, it's quite literally choosing temporary comfort or becoming the person you want to be, and you need to make that decision now. Because the longer time goes on, the longer you wait, the longer you keep giving it your temporary comforts, the longer it is before you're going to be able to attack that goal, and the further away you're straying from that final objective of becoming that person you want to be in your head, okay? The longer you give into temporary comforts, the longer you don't make a decision, the further away you're moving, okay? It's like time. You're constantly moving either towards or away from that person you have in your head. You're never staying stagnant, okay? You're never staying stagnant. You're moving towards or you're moving away. And every time you choose temporary comfort, every time you're lazy, every time, I'm going to say it for what it is, every time you're weak with in your head and you're weak with your decision making, you're moving farther and farther and farther away, and it's getting faster and faster and faster at the pace you're moving away. So you make that decision now, or you never make the decision. What's it going to be? Temporary comfort or happiness and confidence for life? I know what I'm choosing. I know what I want you to choose. The reason I'm being so upfront and harsh with this is because I want the best for everyone listening. I want the best for everyone in the world, okay? I want you all to become that person that you're envisioning in your head, and you can become that person, okay? It's entirely possible. It's not this like dream, okay? It's a possibility. You can do it, but you need to start making these decisions today, okay? You need to start choosing temporary comfort or confidence for life. You need to start choosing confidence or life, okay? Because temporary comforts are going to run you into the floor, and they're going to be the end of your dreams, okay? That person in your head that you're envisioning is going to die to them if you don't make a decision to back him up and back that person you're visualizing in your head over your temporary comforts, okay? And that is the best way I can put it, okay? Every time you choose your temporary comfort, you're moving further and further away from that person, and you don't want to do that. Every time you choose temporary comfort, that person is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and eventually they're going to be so weak that they're going to die off, and you're never going to see them, okay? So you make that decision now. You better choose confidence for life over temporary comfort. I'm going to be really upset, okay? That's the Saorsality way on how to tackle motivation and staying motivated, and even when you don't have any motivation, still doing what you need to do, okay? That is how we do it. That's how I help all my clients with it. So it works every single time. It's an amazing little tool to do, so you better do that. Choose your temporary comforts, or you choose your confidence for life. And as I says, that person you've got in your head, your ultimate version of yourself, the person that you want to be in your head, they're going to die unless you choose confidence for life, okay? So go and smash that out. A little bit extra for all my believers, all my Christians listening to this. I've got a verse I want to give to you, okay? This is Joshua 1:9, okay? It says, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go," okay? Now, if you're a Christian and you're a believer, you understand the impact of this verse, okay? God is literally commanding us to be strong and courageous, okay? Don't be scared of these big difficult tasks, such as, giving it a temporary comforts. Don't be scared. He's commanding us, ordering us to not be scared, okay? Think about how impactful that is. Our Creator is telling us, do not be scared. Our Creator has our back. He's got the best for us. Everything's possible through God, okay? Nothing is impossible. So if He's telling us to be strong, don't get put off, don't be frightened, keep going towards it, keep driving towards it. Don't be scared of the hard path. Then who are we to deny that? Who are we to say otherwise? Okay, He's literally telling us. He's ordering us. He's not telling us. He's commanding us. He's commanding us to be strong. Don't get put off and keep powering through. Okay, and that is, if that doesn't inspire you as a Christian, to get off your backside and go and do what you know you need to do to succeed and to get that. Be that person that you want to be in your head. Attack your fitness goals, attack your business goals, attack your life goals, whatever it is. If you're a Christian, that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what's going to inspire you, okay? I don't know what's going to inspire you if that doesn't. Okay, it's so important. It's so important, that verse, okay? So I'll repeat it for you. "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go," okay? He's with you wherever you go. Stick to it. Do not be scared. Don't get put off, because God's with you, okay? Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I hope this helped you. I'm so glad that the podcast's back. I'm so buzzing for it again. It's going to help me as much as it's helping you. It's a really good platform for me to sort of get my visuals across, get my ideas across, giving you the help that I give people when I train them. It's allowing me to impact a lot more people and hopefully help a lot more people. So as I says, hopefully this podcast helped. If you've got any more questions about it, fire me a DM on Instagram. Make sure you follow us. So follow Saorsality at SAORSALITY. Same as the title of the podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Kyle J Brown PT, at KYLEJ BROWN PT. Follow me, follow Saorsality. Go and give that post a like, go and give it a read, save it, save this podcast, follow the podcast, let me know what topics you want to be brought up in the future. And as I said, guys, I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy for you all to be listening again. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Fuck their opinions, why would I listen and see the